Every day, Starbucks coffee shops serve more than 4 million coffees worldwide. From the flavorful classic latte to the powerful espresso, Starbucks has become a global symbol of quality coffee. But have you ever wondered how this delicious coffee is really produced? Well then, today we will travel to Georgia, USA, home to one of Starbucks' largest coffee processing plants, where every day more than 300 tons of coffee beans are transformed into the thousands of cups we enjoy daily. So get ready, because today we are going to discover how one of the most recognized and consumed coffees in the world is mass-produced. Let's begin. Step number 1. The cultivation of the beans. Everything begins in the enormous coffee plantations located mainly in Colombia, Brazil, and Ethiopia, three of the main countries that supply Arabica coffee to Starbucks. The company works exclusively with this type of bean due to its smoothness, its elegant aroma, and its low caffeine content, perfect for achieving that balance of flavor that characterizes every cup of Starbucks. In a single plantation, more than 100,000 coffee plants can grow, which together produce more than 2,000 tons of beans per year, supplying part of Starbucks' colossal global demand. When the plants reach maturity, harvesting begins. Hundreds of pickers walk through the coffee plantations basket in hand, under the intense sun, manually selecting only the coffee cherries that have reached the optimal point of ripeness, recognizable by their intense and bright red color. Precision is key, because a single immature or damaged bean is enough to affect the flavor profile of the entire batch, ruining what would later be a cup of coffee. Once harvested, the cherries are loaded into enormous sacks, which are then stacked on trucks to begin their first great journey, the transfer to the processing plants, where the transformation will begin. Let's go see it. Step number 2. Extraction of the bean. Once the tons of coffee cherries arrive at the processing plant, the first thing to do is wash them thoroughly. The operators pour them into large channels with moving water, where leaves, branches, dust, and any impurities that remained during the harvest are removed. Only after this initial cleaning do the cherries pass to the mechanical pulpers. These machines exert an exact pressure on each fruit, gently crushing it to break its skin and release the bean hidden inside without damaging it. But extracting the bean is just the beginning. Each seed is still wrapped in a viscous layer called mucilage, a sugary substance that must be removed to ensure the purity of the coffee. For this, the beans are submerged in enormous fermentation tanks for a period of approximately 30 hours, depending on the ambient temperature. There, natural enzymes act by decomposing the mucilage in a controlled manner, leaving the bean completely clean. Once fermentation is complete, the beans are washed again in freshwater channels. This washing also serves as a natural classification system. The densest and highest quality beans sink, while the defective ones float and are automatically removed. Now yes, with the beans completely clean, without pulp or mucilage, they are ready to dry in the sun and continue their journey to becoming the coffee we all know. Let's go! Step number 3. Drying and final selection. With the beans now freed from their pulp and completely clean, one of the most delicate steps in the entire process begins: drying. The operators transfer the fresh beans to enormous outdoor cement patios, where they spread them out in thin layers under the sun. Throughout the day, workers constantly stir them with special rakes, ensuring that the sun's heat is distributed evenly and that no bean remains in the same position for too long. This process can take between 7 and 10 days, depending on weather conditions. If an area remains damp for too long, mold or unwanted fermentations could appear, ruining the quality of the entire batch. Once the beans reach the ideal moisture level, close to 10%, they move to the selection area. Here, expert hands examine them one by one, discarding any defective beans, whether they are split, stained, damaged, or immature. And only those that are up to standard will be able to continue their journey to roasting, where their final aroma and flavor will be defined. Step number 4. Roasting the beans. With the beans dry and ready, one of the most important stages arrives: roasting, the moment that will define the flavor and aroma of each bean. Operators load the beans into enormous rotating drums that spin tirelessly while being subjected to temperatures ranging between 200 degrees Celsius and 230 degrees Celsius. During the rotation, the beans release their moisture, increase in size, and begin to change color, while the famous Maillard reaction develops. the chemical process that creates irresistible notes of caramel, chocolate, and nut. Each type of Starbucks coffee has its own roast profile. For example, blonde, light, and vibrant, medium, smooth and balanced, or dark roast, deep and intense. Control is absolute. Operators monitor every second of the process, guided by the color, the sound of the beans cracking, and the aroma they release to stop the machines at the precise moment. A few seconds too long or too short, and the entire batch could be lost. Upon reaching the perfect point, the beans are immediately cooled with powerful jets of cold air, preserving all the aromatic nuances that will later reach your cup. And now that they smell incredibly good, intense, warm, addictive, it's time for the next big step, grinding them to perfection. Step number 5, grinding the beans. With the beans already roasted and aromatic, the time comes to transform them into the exact powder that will bring millions of cups to life around the world. Grinding. The beans enter gigantic metal roller mills, where they are crushed with millimeter-controlled pressure. Here, every adjustment matters, because not all coffees are prepared the same way. For a cold brew, for example, a coarse grind is needed, which allows for a slow and controlled infusion. For a French press, the grind should be medium, and for an espresso, as fine as flour, capable of withstanding rapid extraction at high pressure. If ground too coarsely, the coffee will be watery. If it is too fine, it will taste bitter and over-extracted. That's why each machine is calibrated in detail, and the entire process is supervised by optical sensors that analyze the texture, size, and density of the ground bean in real time. Furthermore, this entire process is carried out in cold environments, as the heat from friction can damage the natural oils of the bean, affecting the most intense aromas. And now that the coffee is just right, it's time to pack it so it can travel to Starbucks locations around the world. Step number 6, packaging and global distribution. With the coffee freshly ground and at its perfect point, a fundamental stage arrives: packaging. The coffee enters state-of-the-art automated lines, where dosing machines weigh and package each portion with absolute accuracy. These machines are so fast that they can package more than 3,000 kilos of coffee per hour, which is equivalent to more than 300,000 ready-to-brew cups. An impressive figure. Each bag is hermetically sealed in a matter of seconds and receives its label, which includes data such as the origin of the bean, the roast profile, the production date, and the batch code. Once packaged, the bags are grouped into sturdy boxes, stacked on pallets, and transferred to Starbucks logistics centers. From there, their global journey begins. Trucks, planes, and ships distribute the coffee to thousands of stores around the world. And no matter if you are in New York, Buenos Aires, or Tokyo, the goal is always the same: that every cup tastes exactly the same. Now that everything is packaged and distributed across the planet, there is only one last step left: to see how the coffee comes to life in each coffee shop. Step number 7, preparation of the coffees. It all starts when you place your order at the counter. At that moment, the baristas carefully select the necessary type of coffee, grind it on the spot if it is whole bean, or take the exact dose if it is already ground. Then they place the coffee in professional extraction machines, adjusted to work with absolute precision: the exact amount of coffee, the water pressure, the contact time, and the ideal temperature, all calibrated to the millimeter. If you have ordered an espresso, the machine releases a short and intense shot. If you prefer a latte, the baristas steam fresh milk until they obtain a creamy foam that they then pour over the espresso. And if you opt for a cold brew, they extract cold coffee previously macerated for hours, adding ice and the toppings or syrups you choose. Each drink is assembled right in front of your eyes, following protocols designed so that the result is always the same: a freshly made coffee with the perfect aroma, body, and flavor, no matter where in the world you are. Of course, no matter how addictive and delicious it may be, remember that coffee contains caffeine, and like everything in life, the ideal is to enjoy it in moderation to maintain a balanced diet. To finish, tell us, what is your favorite Starbucks coffee? Do you prefer an intense espresso or a creamy latte? Leave us your answer in the comments. And if you like this video, don't forget to leave your like, share it, and subscribe to the channel to discover more impressive manufacturing processes.